Hey, so we're going to finish up today with Jairus and his story. Now, remember, he's on his way with Jesus to his daughter who is very ill and says at the point of death, but he told Jesus, if you'll come and lay your hands on her, she'll live and she'll be healed and she'll live. So they're on their way. But this woman, this woman who just would not stop, that's a whole nother story for another day. But the faith that she had, that she got to Jesus, she knew that she would be made whole. And so she didn't let anything stop her from getting to Jesus. Now, so she's telling him the whole truth, the whole story. That's in verse 33. So now we're in Mark 5:35. And Jesus, he said to her, "Daughter, your faith, your trust and confidence in me, springing from faith in God, has restored you to health. Go into peace and be continually healed and free from your distressing bodily disease." Now back to Jairus. While he was still speaking, so while Jesus is still talking to this woman, there came some from the ruler's house who said to Jairus, "Your daughter has died. Why bother and distress the teacher any further?" I love this. Verse 36. Overhearing but ignoring what they said, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not be seized with alarm and struck with fear. Only keep believing." Overhearing, yet ignoring what they had said, he spoke to Jairus. And here's, I want you to see the scene, okay? And I'm going somewhere, I promise. But see the scene. Jesus is talking to the woman who had been healed with the issue of blood. He's talking to her. The servants come, speak to Jairus. While Jesus is talking, he stops. He doesn't acknowledge what they have said, but he says to Jairus, King James Version is a little more pointed, and it says, "Do not be afraid, only believe." Do not be afraid, only believe. Now, I have heard a lot of people talk about fear. But I think, and also whatever you really want to say, that it's very important that we separate fear, because God is love, 1 John tells us, and 1 John also tells us that perfect love, God, casts out all fear. And we know from 2 Timothy 1:7 that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And in the garden, before man's fall, there was no fear. Fear is connected with Satan himself. And so when we allow fear in our lives, when we allow our thoughts to be caught up in fear, we are not in faith. If we are afraid, then we believe that there is something that God cannot triumph over. Then we believe that Jesus has not redeemed us from the curse of the law, that he does not protect us, that he will not restore us. If we have fear, then we do not know the Father. And I don't mean that ugly, I don't mean it harsh, but it's very important that Jesus did not tolerate fear. He told his disciples, remember in Mark 4, verse 40, he said, "Why are you so fearful? And how is it that you have no faith?" And then when the ruler came from Jairus' house and he said, "Your daughter's dead, don't trouble the master," Jesus immediately turns to him and says, "Don't be afraid, only believe." Do not fear. Fear connects you with Satan. Faith is your union with Jesus. Faith connects you to Jesus. Vitally united. Vital. It is life. It is the source of your life. He had a choice. Jairus could have chosen to fear, but he could also choose to believe. that Jesus would finish what he started, that Jesus would go to his house, and that it would be as Jairus had said. He'll lay hands on her, she will be healed, and she will live. Jairus had plenty of reason in the natural to fear. That didn't matter to Jesus. He didn't say, do it scared. It's okay to be afraid. Jesus said, only keep believing. The Amplified, again, I love that. He said, overhearing but ignoring, not allowing the news to take root in him. Now, I'm not talking about denial. I mean, we do not deny what's going on in the natural, but we do apply the word to it. We do apply the word to it. Jesus did not allow this news to take root in him. Jesus responded with faith. The only way you can do this, the only way that I can do this, is to know God. And I don't mean know that there is a God. I mean to know him intimately and deeply, to know his nature, to know his heart, and to know his love for us. This may have happened. This may be happening now, but this is what God says about it. Continually built up, increasingly confirmed and established, as we read from Colossians 2. And you remember Psalms 1 verse 2, where it says, habitually meditating day and night. If our spirits are disconnected from Jesus, then we're dead and we will not produce fruit. But if our spirits stay vitally united to him, they will produce. He will produce through us, because it is the fruit, remember, that identifies the vine. And I want my fruit to point back and identify my Father. It is the fruit that will bring him glory. It is the fruit that will show people his goodness. It is the finished, full, and complete work of the visible manifestation of the fruit that will point to Jesus. Oh, that's good. Thanks for being with us this week, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 live for our Facebook Daily Devo live. Sorry, I really got that backwards. We do a live video at 9 o'clock on Facebook for our Daily Devos for Saturday. So anyway, I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.